Hello everyone and welcome back to the Bantamweight Boxing YouTube channel with me, your host, Michael Waite. I hope you're all well, hope you've all had a good weekend. Good night of boxing last night on the Misfits card. I didn't watch the whole card, but I watched the majority of it from about like the Salt Papi fight to obviously the main event, the KSI versus Joe Fournier fight, which is what I'm going to be discussing in this video, give my kind of breakdown and my post-fight thoughts. I've had the night to sleep on it to dissect it, and obviously there has been some big controversy with the fight, with it ending in what's clearly an elbow, a Muay Thai spinning elbow from KSI. I don't know where he learnt that, but it you know, he can make an appearance in the UFC with shots like that. But we'll get into the kind of controversy at the end. But let's look at the fight as a whole. Obviously, big win for KSI. He looked very dominant in that fight. Obviously, deserved to win the fight. There's no kind of questions about that. And I reckon if he hadn't have knocked him out with that elbow in the second round, it would have been another shot, you know, a legal shot that would have led to it. I think I'll start by kind of breaking down the fight round by round. Well, it was only 2 rounds, so that'll be pretty quick, and then give my kind of overall thoughts. So the first round started. What I like about KSI is he clearly gets himself riled up for these fights. You know, sometimes when I hear the nightmare and stuff like that, I do feel it's a bit corny. It's not quite Mike Tyson-esque. It's not quite black shorts and no socks, but he does a good job of trying to give off that kind of aura. But the main thing about it is he believes in it. And I'm starting to think a lot of his opponents do as well. This kind of mean, knockout, vicious man, this kind of new persona he takes on when he goes into the ring, a bit like Deontay Wilder in the Bronze Bomber. And I'll go on to say I think there is quite a few good comparisons between KSI and Wilder in that stylistically as well. But yeah, so he's clearly riled up KSI for this fight. You can see from the opening bell, he starts with a kind of unorthodox stance of kind of obviously sideways on, but he's on his toes, bouncing in and out. And as the fight starts, he's making it clear that he wants to kind of keep quite a bit of range from Joe Fournier. He's not going to be up close and in a kind of standard boxing range where they can both trade. He was like, you're going to have to time me when I come in and out. And he does literally spring in and out like a bit of a wild man. But it shows to be quite effective. The first round early on, he lands 2 good right hands. Both of which I think landed to the head without throwing a jab to set it up. He kind of just comes in, boom, throws the right hand super quick, and then is very quick to get out. So it was very clear that his game plan from the get-go was, we are going to steamroll Joe Fournier. We're going to go in with everything we've got and go for that first round knockout, which I love from KSI. You know, it's entertainment at the end of the day, and he wanted to put on a big show for his fans. So he's coming in super fast, throwing the right hand, jumping back out. And I think Joe Fournier was expecting KSI to start fast. I think he said it in a lot of the pre-fight kind of interviews and stuff like that. He knew KSI was going to come on strong, as he's done with a lot of his last fights. You know, he's known for getting that first round knockout. But Joe Fournier didn't really have an answer to it. I think probably a more seasoned professional would be quite a bit quicker to tie KSI up and kind of slow it all down a little bit, which Fournier tried to do, but there's not much of an answer for, you know, when someone's coming at you windmilling like KSI was. But yeah, first round was very, very good from KSI. A few jabs in there. And also one of his good shots was his straight right to the body. I thought he threw that very well. But yeah, first round was real clear one from KSI. You know, we're switching up the angles and, you know, just very awkward to deal with. And I think that is going to be KSI's real niche, is he's got this really awkward, powerful style, a bit like Wilder, where, you know, for people who are trained, you know, you can't spar with people like that. You don't find, it's difficult to find sparring partners who've got that kind of wild side to them. And I liked it from KSI. He's kind of learnt that he's not going to be your orthodox, clean, precise fighter who throws, you know, everything by the books and all of that. He's going to be a bit wild, and that's what leads to, you know, elbows getting landed and stuff. But the other thing from the first round I saw as well, and what I liked about KSI, is feeding into that what I said earlier about the kind of being up for the fight is he has got a bit of dog in him. I like it. You know, he knows it's a fight. He knows it's, you know, it's a boxing match, yeah, but at the end of the day, it's two men scrapping in a ring, and he wants to make it as uncomfortable for his opponent as he can. And he, you know, at one point he grabs Fournier and basically just chucks him on the floor. And, you know, yeah, that's illegal, and yeah, it's not great practice, but again, it's about roughing them up in the ring. It's about saying, do you want to be in this fight? I don't think so. It's not going to be a nice night for you. It's going to be a long, long night. And KSI looked physically a lot stronger than Joe Fournier. He really showed to be the kind of younger, fitter man. Anyway, that was round one. Into round two. Round two, I think I saw a few shots from KSI. Again, was very keen to just throw the right hand without setting it up. And I think one or two times Fournier did catch him with like a left hook as he came in, over, you know, overstretching. So he does need to be a bit careful about that. I think he did stop doing that in the fight. I think when he started getting hit and started actually setting it up with the jab, coming in really quickly, you know, throwing the 1-2 to the body or to the head and getting out. And I was quite impressed with that. I thought, you know, it did look, yeah, I was impressed. It was landing, and it was some, you know, good shots. It was clear that the main shot KSI wanted to land was the overhand right. And he spoke about it in the post-fight, saying throughout the fight he could see that Fournier's chin was kind of in the air and the overhand was there for the taking. He did try and throw it a few times in the second round and just didn't quite have his range. Sometimes I was quite shocked at how far out he was throwing it. And, you know, things like that he needs to be a bit more careful with, because a more seasoned pro will see, you know, he really telegraphs when he was going to throw that overhand right, and sometimes was really out of range, and a seasoned pro will see that and will really punish you for that. So something he needs to work on slightly, but I think it's good. It shows good boxing IQ from KSI that he could recognize the overhand right was there, and ultimately that was the big shot in round two that KSI landed. Really rocked Fournier, backed Fournier up. And again, what I liked about KSI, he knew when he had the fighter hurt, he knew this was the time to let the hands go. And what do? Bang! Throw a little spinning elbow. I loved it. Well, I didn't love that bit. That was, I didn't see it in the, like most people, when it initially happened, I thought it was like a close, short right hand. But as the replay showed, it was actually an elbow. But as I said, you know, if it wasn't that elbow that landed, it was going to be something else. And Fournier, I haven't really spoken too much about him in this fight, because really he didn't come to show much. I think he barely threw any punches in the fight. I think it's difficult to do, you know, when you've got a maniac coming at you, but I wanted to see a little bit more from him. I wanted him to kind of establish some authority in the ring, you know, throw some jabs and kind of let KSI know that he's there. But the punches that Fournier did throw and did connect did not bother KSI whatsoever. So it was clear that KSI was going to be willing to take a few to land some. So yeah, there's not really too much to say on the Fournier side. And I think the fight was only really going one way, and that was a KSI knockout. So I have said a few critical things about KSI, but that's only because I'm giving him the respect of a kind of moving into the professional ranks and moving to moving to fighting. Sorry, there goes a coughing fit. He's moving to fighting fighters like Tommy Fury and stuff like that, and he's going to need to technically improve some elements of his game. Yeah, so the fight ended. What do I think should happen about the elbow? Well, you know, technically, KSI should be considered no contest. He was knocked out by an elbow, but there was no talks of that on the Misfit card. It was very much brushed over, and the commentators were even a bit scared to mention the elbow. Like, they were like, do you think that you may have landed an elbow on him? And then KSI was like, no. And they were like, okay, cool. You know, I can't blame them. I wouldn't, you know, with a crowd full of KSI fans and KSI who's like a smoking gun telling him what really happened. But yeah, they kind of bottled it a bit there. But it should be a no contest in my opinion. But do I want to see the fight run back? No. Do I think it would have ended any other way? No. So I'm glad they're setting up the Tommy Fury fight. I love that from KSI, calling him and getting him in the ring. Really wants to fight, was super hungry for the fight. And I think that would be a really good scrap. Again, KSI, I think, as I said before, what I think he's done really well is he knows what his strengths are. And I think for KSI, he's got good punching power. He's got damn good heart. He's got the good heart, good aggression. And he's awkward. It will be a tough opponent for Tommy Fury. The cons, though, I think, he is susceptible to being counter-punched. I think sometimes when he was coming in and out, it's a bit straight line. A lot of the times he gets a bit overexcited and leaps in with the right hand, and he doesn't set it up with a jab and telegraphs it. And I think someone like Tommy Fury would punish him there. But I think it's about honing the skill set he has, which he's definitely doing. And I think I was impressed with it. I think stylistically he's an entertaining fighter. He's someone people will come to see, even if he does start losing fights or whatever. But definitely needs to hone up on a few things. So yeah, it looks like they're setting up the Tommy Fury fight. I think that's a smart move from KSI. I don't think KSI will beat Tommy Fury. I think Tommy Fury's just got a bit more in his arsenal. Also, I think it'd be interesting to see what KSI's gas tank does over 6 rounds, if he did take it later into the fight, because that style he has of on his toes and moving about and throwing big power punches are going to be very taxing on the body, on the stamina. And I don't know, could he keep that up for 6 rounds? I'm not sure. But someone like Tommy Fury is not going to shy away for a 6-round fight. He'll be there, the whole way through, as we saw with what's his name, Jake Paul. So I think it's an interesting fight. I think KSI does give him trouble, but I'm picking Tommy Fury. But even though I'm saying I don't think KSI will win the fight, I still think it's a smart move, because I think he'll do well against Tommy Fury. And also, Tommy Fury is technically a professional fighter. And if he loses, he's still got the Jake Paul fight. And, they both lost to Tommy Fury. That fight can still be made and will still be, there's plenty of big fights out there for him. So I rate it from KSI that he wants to really test himself. And I thought he put on a good show, and it was entertaining. So kudos to Misfits, and I'll definitely be watching the next one. And hopefully there's no elbows, maybe a head kick to finish it. We'll see. But thanks you guys for listening. I'll wrap it up there. Do like and subscribe. We hit 105 subscribers, on the way to 200. I was going to say 1,000, but let's say 200. Let's go. Drop a subscribe. But thanks for listening, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao.